The sound of her laughter cut through the night like glass. I was sitting in my car outside her apartment, engine off, headlights dimmed, watching as my ex-wife, Leah, leaned against another man's doorframe. The streetlight caught her face, soft, familiar, and cruelly different. She used to look at me that way. When she brushed his sleeve and let out that quiet, breathy laugh, something inside me twisted so hard I thought I might throw up. It had been only 6 months since the divorce. She'd said she needed space and time to find herself. I'd believed her, stupidly clinging to the idea that maybe we could still be friends. Close friends, she'd said. That phrase had clung to me like a splinter. At the time, it sounded harmless, almost mature. Now, watching her smile like that at another man, it sounded like a taunt. I didn't go there to spy. At least, that's what I told myself. I was driving home after work, saw her car parked outside this building, and curiosity dragged me to the curb. The kind that burns behind your ribs until you give in. I sat there long enough to see her step inside, the door closing behind her. I stayed even longer, until the hallway light flicked off. That night, I couldn't sleep. My apartment felt hollow, full of echoes. Every memory of her, the way she stirred her coffee, the sound of her humming while folding laundry, became unbearable. My mind spiraled through every conversation we'd had in those last few months. The late nights she claimed she was at yoga. The guarded tone when I'd ask who she'd been texting. The tears when she said she wasn't happy anymore. And still, I loved her. God, I still loved her. I told myself I had to move on, that holding on to something dead was killing me. But moving on wasn't simple when every morning still smelled faintly like her perfume, no matter how many times I washed the sheets. Then, a week later, I saw her best friend, Rachel. She was at the coffee shop we used to go to, sitting alone with her laptop, her dark hair pulled into a loose bun. She looked up and smiled when she saw me. It wasn't a forced smile, not the kind people give when they're pretending they're fine after a divorce. Hers was soft, sympathetic, real. We talked. At first, just small talk about work and mutual friends. But the conversation drifted toward Leah. It always did. Rachel sighed, stirring her drink. She's changed, she said quietly. After the divorce, she's different. Reckless. That word hit me. Reckless. Rachel hesitated, as if weighing whether to go on. She's been seeing someone new, she said finally. I didn't want to tell you, but you deserve to know. I tried to sound indifferent. Yeah, I figured. But Rachel saw through it. Her eyes softened, and she reached across the table, resting her hand over mine. It was a small gesture, but it felt like warmth after months of cold. After that, we started seeing each other more often. Lunches that turned into dinners. Late-night texts that turned into calls. She made me laugh again, in a way I thought I'd forgotten how. She didn't tiptoe around the past, either. She let me talk about Leah, about the pain, about everything. And in those conversations, something shifted. I started looking forward to Rachel's voice more than I wanted to admit. It wasn't planned. What happened next? One night, after too much wine and too many confessions, we ended up in her apartment. The air between us was heavy, hesitant, electric. When she kissed me, it felt like release, anger, longing, grief, all tangled together. Afterward, we sat in silence. The guilt came quickly. She pulled the blanket around herself and whispered, "We probably shouldn't have done that." "Yeah," I said. But neither of us moved. For weeks, it became a secret we didn't name. We told ourselves it was comfort, not love. That we were just two people trying to heal in the same direction. But healing doesn't usually come wrapped in this much guilt. Every time we were together, I felt a mixture of tenderness and shame. Then, one evening, Rachel's phone buzzed. I was in her kitchen, pouring wine. Her expression shifted as she looked at the screen. She tried to hide it, but I caught the name, Leah. My stomach dropped. Rachel silenced the phone and set it face down. I asked, too calmly, "Does she know about us?" She hesitated. "No. Of course not." Her voice trembled slightly. I wanted to believe her, but something was off. The same unease I'd felt with Leah months ago crept back, coiling around my gut. Later that night, while Rachel showered, I glanced at her phone on the nightstand. I shouldn't have. But once you've been betrayed, trust becomes a fragile thing, always cracking under the weight of suspicion. There was a text thread with Leah, recent, frequent. My name came up more than once. "He's doing better than I thought," Leah had written. "Guess someone's finally giving him attention." Rachel had replied, "Careful. You sound jealous." "Just curious," Leah answered. "He used to be so easy to control." The words blurred for a second, my vision tightening. Easy to control. That's what I'd been. Her safety net, her emotional crutch. I scrolled further. A photo appeared, me and Rachel at the cafe, taken from a distance. Leah had sent it. "He looks happier. Maybe it's what he needs." I dropped the phone like it burned. My chest felt hollow. Rachel stepped out of the bathroom, towel around her, smiling faintly. "Everything okay?" I turned to her. "How long have you been talking to her?" Her face froze. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." "She reached out," she said, voice breaking. "She wanted to make sure you were okay. I thought, maybe if she saw you moving on, she'd finally let go. I was trying to help." "Help?" I laughed, bitterly. "By sleeping with me." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't plan this, I swear. But she wanted to know everything. I shouldn't have told her. I just..." "Just what?" I stepped closer. Wanted to see if I'd fall again. "For her. For you." She didn't answer. The silence said everything. I left that night without another word. The city was quiet, but my thoughts screamed. Every moment with Leah, every kiss with Rachel, it all blurred together, poisoned by manipulation. They hadn't just betrayed me. They'd used me as the thread in their own game, binding themselves together through my pain. When Leah texted me the next morning, "I heard you and Rachel aren't talking. You okay?" I didn't reply. Instead, I sent one photo, the screenshot of their messages. Her typing bubble appeared, then vanished. That night, I drove past her apartment again. Her car was gone. Rachel's, too. Maybe they were together. Maybe they were tearing each other apart now. As for me, I sat in the dark, engine running, realizing something painful and freeing at once. I'd spent months trapped in their world of half-truths and pity. Now, there was nothing left to lose. The street light flickered out, leaving me in silence. For the first time in a long while, it didn't feel empty. It felt like an ending.